the Kings had a lot of trouble getting a deal done without including Murray. They also were skeptical, according to Kevin O'Connor, that due to Siakam's lack of commitment to re-signing a long-term deal this summer, it put into question what assets the Kings wanted to give up alongside guys like Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes and even Davion Mitchell. So that seemed like a major roadblock, and he gets traded to Indiana, though. They give up 3 first-round picks. They don't really give up much in the way of young players. I mean, they got their 3 first-round picks. Obviously, they gave up Anunoby for mainly 2 key young players, but this one was centered around the picks. 3 first-round picks, something maybe the Kings could have done. But the other factor now that's really interesting and kind of makes you go like, wait, why didn't the Kings do this, is the fact that reportedly, according to ESPN, Siakam is expected to be eager, end quote, to sign a long-term deal this summer with Indiana. It just seems so odd to me. I mean, what was the issue here? It's like, wait, if the Pacers are doing this and there's a chance he can sign, why couldn't the Kings have done that?
Yeah, this Siakam situation has been so confusing over the last, 2 weeks. It's like, that report came out, it's like, the Kings are a serious shooter for Siakam. And then Siakam comes to Sac that same night and plays the Kings. And right before tip-off, it's like, yeah, no, the Kings aren't interested anymore. Because then the next report came out. It's like, well, the Kings are trying to trade Harrison Barnes and a package centered around Barnes, which is okay, it's probably not going to get a deal for Siakam done. And then more reports came out, Sacramento is still interested in trading for Siakam, even if he won't resign. And then it's well, Siakam wants to test out free agency. There were so many reports. I mean, I don't think McNair would have traded 3 first-round picks. I mean, the Pacers do have 3 first-round picks to trade because they have 2 this season. Maybe he was using the Kings as leverage, as many teams and players have done. I don't know. I just don't think, anyway, the Kings would have made the trade. Even 2 first-round picks for Siakam. It's just all weird. It's the Siakam. I'm kind of just glad it's over with. Pacers got him. Our mini rival now, our East Coast rival, even though they're kind of East Coast, but Eastern Conference, I should say, rival. But I'm just kind of glad it's in the rear view.
Well, just to me on the Siakam thing, if I had to give my hypothesis what this whole thing was about, was that the quote unquote lack of commitment from Siakam to sign a long-term extension. And there were also news about him potentially wanting to rejoin, I think, Toronto. That whole aspect could have very well been Siakam and his party kind of working with the Raptors here. Because if you have that going on, okay, well, keep that in mind as the Raptors field some offers. Get some offers, see what happens. There's a lack of commitment, yada, yada, yada. Well, now if something in private, as you've put in your initial offer, it's like, oh, hey, you know what? Actually, Siakam might be open to signing with you. I mean, that feasibly could have been the case now that the trade's been made, and the report almost instantly afterwards was that he is expected to be eager to re-sign with the Pacers this summer. That could have very well been the case. And now that is thrown in there. Well, that offer now has to be increased, doesn't it? And now it seems like he might be open to signing it. So, I don't know, offer might go up a little bit. That might have pushed the button on 3 first-round picks rather than 2,
True. No, that's a good
I think you make a great point by saying that Indiana did have 2 first-round picks to get rid of this year. That's a key factor, and that's a key luxury that the Kings didn't have. And I think that all kind of points to the fact that I think your assessment's right. I don't think McNair would have given up the 3 first-round picks. And I'm just assuming that that's kind of how everything went. It was just a way to drive up value. I mean, that's the goal. Why wouldn't that be the goal? And it's feasible to see how that strategy would have worked, and it seemed like it did.